Yeah, big thanks and big hi to you tonight on the Paul Mark and the Tech Guy show. Paul Curry in the chair, Studio 2, 98.9 Northwest FM. I hope you enjoyed that intro. Let me just say we're back for 2026. I think you know me, Mark. I love using my hands in a situation like this because we're back. If you can see me, if you can't see me, you need to jump onto Facebook and check us out at Community Heart Media. Soon to be followed by Paul Mark and the Tech Guy. Mate, what a great year. It's going to be fantastic. What a great show we've got coming up. And we've got some fantastic things happening. Paul, Mark and the Tech Guy, 3 blokes, 1 podcast and plenty to talk about. Isn't that right, Marcus?
Mate, so excited to be here today, mate. It's great to see you. Looking great, mate. You're in Studio 1. I'm in Studio 2. That's probably how it rolls. You're 1, I'm 2. But I'm here, so that's the main thing, you know?
Well, mate, let me just say... let's twist it around a little bit. I'm in 2, you're in 1, but community and sport to current and controversial news, and of course everything tech. And we miss our tech guy, so just forgive me if we don't get that. But the tech guy will be in very, very soon. But we're really excited tonight, Mark, because it is the first show back for 2026, and I hope you can get my audio okay. Sounds a little bit sort of muffled, but you hearing me all right? I think so, eh?
Yeah, we got you, mate. We got you, buddy.
Big
crowd out tonight. Big crowd tonight. It's a bit like the Hawthorn-Essendon game, 90,000 at the G, mate. And that's we've probably got nearly that here listening to us tonight.
Absolutely, Mark. Look, we've talked about this for a few weeks, and we're back in, as you can tell, here on 98.9 Northwest FM, the very awesome local community radio station. We're back for 2026. I have a wonderful guest, which we're going to introduce very shortly. Coming up, top 7 at 7 is revived again for 2026. Standing ovation, I think it was, from last year. After our interview with our guest this evening, we've also got some new supporters, some great new supporters, Marcus. I can do an intro for you, but we've got money talk coming up in this half hour, and we've also got sports talk. So in 5 minutes, sort of chat with a couple of guys there. So we've got.
Well, Paul, we've added a few segments to the show, mate. I mean, it used to be a great show, and it's become greater in 26. Exactly. You know, so it's quite amazing, mate. I don't think our guest realizes that he's live on radio and on Facebook as he moves around there, but he'll get the message soon. It's great to have him here. I think he's just itching to get introduced, Paul.
Exactly right, 100%, mate. Well, without any further ado, thank you so much, Roger Donnelley, founder and CEO of the SALT Foundation, where disability support that feels like home. You're here with us tonight on Paul, Mark and the Tech Guy. We love having you here. How are you, Roger?
I'm doing pretty good, thanks. It's been a good day. And I'm really excited to be here on 98.9 with you guys.
Fantastic.
Well, we're excited to have you too, Roger.
I want to strap you in though, mate. You've just got to get Mark. Mark, can you get the belt and strap Roger in so he doesn't go anywhere? Because we're going to have a chat with you. We've got lots to talk about this evening, but don't you go anywhere. That's great. Good on you, Rog. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Yeah, he likes moving around, the old Rog, but he is one of the industry leaders, and we're just privileged to have Roger here on 98.9 Northwest FM, Paul, Mark, and the Tech Guy back in 26, and we're very excited. Now, Roger, you're part of the NDIS, and that's a huge industry, and obviously a cash burden to our taxpayers. But, mate, just tell us a bit about the NDIS, the whole thing. Whatever you know, mate, you want to tell us a bit about the industry that you're in?
Well, it's a really good question, Mark. And how long is a piece of string? I think that I'd like to start by telling you the story of maybe, I'll have to be careful just in case he's listening in, but I'm pretty sure that he's okay with it. He tells his story pretty regularly. But, people really struggle with mental health and their well-being, and that's one of the things that we really specialize in and are passionate about. People don't realize how real schizophrenia and mental health can be, but to give you an idea of how real that can be, we had a guy who we've been looking after for many years, and the voices in his head said, he was working in a timber workshop, and the voices in his head said, put your arm in and cut your arm off. And he did. And he just chopped his arm clean off. And that's how powerful and real some mental health is. And I don't know that people realize how visceral it is for people living with a disability. And the NDIS, the good news is that this guy, he sort of woke up after that, got to hospital, they sewed his arm back on. But people don't realize how valuable the NDIS can be for people like that, just to keep them on a really clean and straight trajectory so that those things don't relapse. It keeps them out of hospital, it keeps them focused and helps them to really get their life back on track and to have a regular sort of rhythm.
Yeah, well, it's a huge industry. Every one of us knows a support worker. Probably our uncles or aunties or our cousins work for a NDIS service. It's a massive industry. So many billions of dollars in the industry. So many workers, but they're doing a great job, as you say, mate. They're supporting a lot of people that desperately need our support. Tell us a bit about yourself. Who is Roger, and who is the SALT Foundation?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. Roger is a disenfranchised Christian who got tired of going to church and decided that it was time to actually do something with, to live out my faith. Anyway, I decided with my wife, we ended up in a commission flat, going to some flats in Heidelberg West, which were really sort of riddled with long-term unemployed, drug addicts, refugees, some good people. And we started knocking on the doors and meeting people. This is well before the NDIS started. And we'd do soup in the laundry outside, and then we'd try and engage people into the maternal health clinics and the council's services. We'd try and hook them up. But anyway, so we've been working in the I guess with the marginalised for around about 15 plus years.
Mate, that's amazing. Paul, what do you think about that, mate? I mean, I don't think enough of that happens. People serving soup in places. I mean, really that community engagement. I mean, that's super duper, don't you reckon?
Absolutely, mate. And it's a start, and just you've got a caring heart. You're out there making a difference. It might just be small, but like it's empowering there and then at that time. It's amazing there, Roger.
Yeah, and the knock-on effect of that, when we were knocking on the doors of these commission flats, there's a number of people that I can think of off the top of my head who are now working with us as support workers. Mark said everybody knows a support worker. Well, some of the support workers whose doors we knocked on that were long-term unemployed, we said, do you know what? You'd be an amazing support worker. Because, people that have been long-term unemployed, often you find that they've got the biggest hearts. They share more of their resources, and they're happy to just give you the shirt off their back, most of them. And we've picked up a number of one guy, I knocked on his door and he had a knife, a big knife, and he's drilling it into the door jamb. And he's like, what do you want? What do you want? And I said, we're doing soup out in the laundry if you're interested. And he goes, interesting, come in. And this is early days, and I walked into his flat like a fool, and he shut the door. And I thought, when he shut the door, I thought, what have I done? What have I done? But he turned out to be a really good guy, and he's a support worker. And the NDIS has given him a shot at life again. And he stands taller, and he feels so proud that he's back in the workforce. He's got 2 daughters, and he sort of fronts up to them, and he's working again. It's not just about participants; it's about the support workers as well. I love it. It's such a good industry to be in.
One of the things I love about you, Roger, is you're the CEO of the SALT Foundation, which is a high and mighty type position, but yet all the stories we're hearing about is you actually on the grassroots, getting involved with people one-to-one, getting your hands dirty, rolling up your sleeves, getting involved. And I love that about you. Is that something that you pride yourself with in terms of your leadership?
I don't really think about it too much. I just think that it's just something that I think that we should be doing, you know. What did that great teacher say? You know, the greatest among you must be the servant of all. And I think getting down and doing the dishes and helping people and serving them is really a part of what SALT is about. So I don't think it's anything special, really. I think it's just getting out there and being human.
Well, you're a bit like my mate Paul
Yeah,
here,
exactly.
very humble man. Even though he's taken Studio One, he's a very humble man, and you know we love that about Paul. And well, you might as well tell us about the SALT Foundation. Everyone's wondering, what is this SALT Foundation? Do you make salt? What do you actually do out there?
Yeah, well, the SALT Foundation, it's a Christian organisation, and it really is just there to promote goodness to the world and bring a bit of light back into this miserable, broken world that we're a part of. You know, everywhere you turn, you know, there's brokenness and people who are struggling, people that are doing it tough. And so some of the things that we do, we've been doing, we did a community dinner for 10 years every week. You know, my wife would cook up a fantastic meal, and we would have people turn up. Probably, you know, 30, 40, 50, 100 people at Christmas time, sort of numbers. And we just tried to build community. With the NDIS, we've got, I don't know, 100 and something support workers that are out there that needed work that we're supporting. We do a bit of work in India. You know, I tell you, we've got a woman in the south of India. And this is because of the work we do in the NDIS. We're a not-for-profit, so the profit goes back into making the world a slightly better place. And it's only small, I get that. But we've got a woman in the south that does microfinance for women who have been marginalised, domestic violence, divorced. There's no safety net for them. And so we give them a small loan. They repay that loan, and it gives them dignity, it gives them security, it gives them a job and some money so that they can survive. In the north, I got a call last night at about 11 o'clock at night from the husband of the wife that we employ up near Darjeeling and Nepal. And I said, "Where is Suba?" And he goes, "She's off. She does a bit of anti-trafficking. So she works for SALT. Part of her job is to educate families how to avoid letting their kids get sold to traffickers." But she was off last night with some people who were trying to rescue two girls that have been stolen from their families, 14 and 15-year-old girls. And the story was that these girls have been stolen to be surrogate parents for rich families in India. So they take them, they impregnate these girls, they have the babies, they're discarded. And they're probably the lucky ones because a lot of them are sold into prostitution. But anyway, so SALT, we employ her. She's off rescuing kids, which is awesome. She also educates kids in the slums. Closer to home, we do a lot of support work in the NDIS space, run community programs, and just do some basic stuff.
Paul, it sounds like, and the phones are going all the time. Paul, sounds like great work there, mate. And we'd love our listeners who have got any questions to ask of Roger. This is a good time to start thinking about putting a comment in the chat if you want to ask Roger any questions.
Yeah, exactly right. Let's get behind Roger and the great things that he's doing. What a wonderful story. I mean, it's not just a story, mate. This is real facts. This is life. Obviously changes your perspective, Roger, yeah? I mean, it would have such an impact.
Yeah, well, do you know that I used to think, Paul, that it had a big impact, but what I realised, and I think what I realise now that I'm sort of up to my ankles in it, that each one of us, like today, you know, I see, you know, people walk down the street and they say g'day to the bloke the beggar on the street. "How you doing, mate?" You know, and they throw a few bucks into his plate, or they give them a bottle of water or something to eat. It's all of us. It's all of us just doing those small things that make the big difference. You know, it's a drop in the bucket. We're a drop in the bucket, but together, when we all just pick up that little bit of slack, it makes the difference. And, you know, I see people doing that, and our workers do it. People on the NDIS do it. It's just it's a collaborative effort.
It's collaborative, Roger, but it's also you're leading from the front, and that's setting the right example. So you're getting behind it, and you're setting the pathways. Yeah, by doing what you're doing is showing people that even if we follow what you do, everyone has an impact, and we're going to all play part of this this story, so to speak.
Yeah,
so
it's true, Paul. I don't, you guys might be able to help me. You guys are on the radio, so you're probably closer with music. What's that song, Love the One You're With? Who sang
Love
that?
the One You're With.
Oh, yeah. Paul will know the answer to that question.
Oh, no. Geez, now you're challenging me.
He's the music man. He's the music director of the show.
He's the music man. Love the
of the whole station. But
you know, all you can do is love the one you're with. And I guess it's passing that message on. I think just pass it on to the bloke next to you and pray that they do it for the person that I'll never see. I'll never see the people that you, Paul or Mark, see and engage with, but I know that, you know, if we all do our bit, word gets around.
Now, Roger, you're a great man, no doubt. These stories are great. What you do is great, but you're also a man of vision, and I love that about you. You came to me with an idea, I don't know, 12 months ago, 6 months ago. You said, Mark, I want to hire Luna Park. And I thought, come on, Roger, what are you talking about hiring Luna Park? That's a big, audacious goal. But then you've got it. You've got the Salt March. Now, tell us about the Salt March. It's going to be at Luna Park on the 18th of March, 1:30 to 3:30. Amazing. You've hired the whole of Luna Park for the Salt March. Tell us a bit about the Salt March, mate.
Yeah, sure. Well, you know, another good man in history was Mahatma Gandhi. And so the Salt March was kind of inspired by Mahatma Gandhi, right? Or Mahatma Gandhi. And back in like 1930, he did this peaceful protest. And the British wanted to tax the Indians for salt. And he said, do you know what? Stick that up your jumper. He said, it's our salt. You're not going to be taxing us for giving us our salt back. And so he marched. He did this protest march with what turned out to be, you know, hundreds of thousands of people walking to the beach with him to say, do you know what? You're not going to take. So it was a social justice thing that he did.
Yeah. Right.
And I just thought, you know what? It's a peaceful protest. It was powerful. It was the voice of many coming together. And so the Salt March is about the many coming together to raise a voice to say that we need to care for communities of people who've got a disability, that are marginalised, and remember them and help people to see that they've got a place in our society, and that they belong and we should care for them. So yeah, the Salt March is all about disability inclusion and helping people to have a good time.
What day is it, Roger? What day do we got there? What's the March date? Or we can put it up on our website.
Oh yeah, it's the 18th of March.
18th of March. Okay, here we go.
Yeah,
1:30 to 3:30, 2 hours at Luna Park. So the 18th of March, 1:30 to 3:30, Luna Park. You're involved in the NDIS. Get on board. We're going to put the flyer on our Facebook page. But Roger, how do they register if they want to get involved in the Salt March?
Yeah, that's a good question, Mark. If they wanted to register for the Salt March on the 18th of March, this March 2026, they just head to Eventbrite and probably type in the Salt March, and there you can register and get a ticket. The tickets are free. It's a free event. We really want to make it a day of celebration and have as many people come along from the disability community, because we know that they do it tough. We know a lot of them don't have jobs. They've got financial, social, physical problems. And we just want to show them a good time and say, do you know what? The lot of us care. We want to look out for you.
Yeah, that's
wow.
Awesome,
and Paul, you'd be a big Luna Park man. What's your favourite ride at Luna Park?
I remember going on the roller coaster, and I never went back ever since. From then, that was as a young guy. No, actually, I like the faces where you put the ball. The clown. I love the clown. So
it's going to be a lot of fun, Roger. Going to Luna Park, mate. A great
Luna
day
Park's
for everyone
fun.
that's going to get along. And how many people are you expecting to the Salt March at Luna Park on Wednesday, the 18th at 1:30?
18th of March. Yeah.
I'm just going to say hundreds.
Fantastic.
There's going to be hopefully thousands. Hopefully be packed. Just one thing on that coming up, top 7 at 7. We're going to ask Roger to stay back a little bit, because we're going to be talking around the top 7 reasons to connect with the Salt Foundation. And also we've got a new segment. It's Money Talk with the founder of Harrods Financial Services is going to be in the room after 7:30. So don't go anywhere. I do want to encourage our viewers, jump on and ask Roger a question. This is the time to get involved and do your bit. So jump on to Paul, Marketing Tech Guy, or actually Community Heart, and then you should be able to drop us a comment there before we see Roger leave the show. But Mark, there's lots more coming up. We've got we've got a new initiative as well tonight, Baseline. But we're going to have to go for a break, and we will come back and we'll have a chat with Roger. But we need to do a quick community update. They're here at 98.9 Northwest FM, so don't go anywhere. There's lots more coming up just around the corner with Roger Donnelley from the Salt Foundation.
All right, and for those watching on Facebook Live or on the replay later on, stay with us, because I'm just going to keep talking to my old mate Rog while Paul plays an ad on the radio, because we're going to keep going here, Roger. But yeah, I'll tell you what, the Salt March, mate, you've got a few partners with the Salt March, haven't you? Who are your partners that are helping you with the Salt March?
We do. Well, we have, there's 5 different organisations that have chipped in to make this day of celebrating inclusion happen. IDS. Well, and IDS is an acronym for what, Mark?
Great organisation, IDS, mate. It's the Independent Disability Services Organisation. It's
there you go.
Obviously, I mean, the Salt Foundation is a great organisation. Independent Disability Service, another great organisation.
It is, and other organisations that have jumped on board is, and these ones are listed on the stock exchange, which is really good. We've got Gen U, NIB Thrive, Care One. So, I mean, and this is the first time that we've done it at Luna Park. I think that next year will be bigger, better, brighter, and much better polished than what this year will be. And hopefully it'll just go from strength to strength. And who knows, in 10 years' time, it might just go right off. And
well, I think you've done a fantastic job, Roger, pulling it together, getting several hundred people along. It's a great initiative, great vision from yourself, and I'm really glad that we can support it here on 98.9 Northwest FM and the Community Heart, and Paul Mark and the Tech Guy, and anyone else we want to name, Mr. Curry.
Oh, look, we've got Rene and we've got Nate coming up around the corner, and we're just missing our great the Tech Guy though. We're going to have to sort that one out. So if there's any tech challenges, mate, I might have to handle it over to you, Marcus, and get you to look after that if you're right. Plus anything else. But no, top 7.
I'm back on the radio now, mate, or are you still playing?
We are indeed. No, we're back on the radio. We're back live here at 98.9. First show back for 2026. There's lots happening the next few weeks. We've got a show next week, so we'll talk a little bit more down the track. I'm looking forward to a segment. Is one of my favourites. Is certainly Roger. Have you ever heard Mark rant?
I hear Mark rant regularly.
Well, tonight's Mark rant around about 7:45, 7:50. Stick around, please. Listen to tuning.com or 98.9 or here on Facebook. Check it out, because I can't wait for Mark's rant coming up in the hour here at Paul Marketing Tech Guy. Hey, Roger, are you looking forward to the top 7 at 7?
I am.
7-ish? We ready to go?
I am indeed.
Awesome. Mark, a couple more questions before we move on to our next one, but if you wanted to contribute.
Yeah, for sure, buddy. I'm right with my old mate Roger, because does a great job in there in the NDIS space. And I love what you're talking about support workers, mate, because, I sometimes think the NDIS takes away community involvement, but I like your take on it. It's actually giving a lot of people jobs to be able to care for people, and I think that's so important. So what's your take on the effectiveness and the impact of the NDIS, mate?
That's another good question, Mark, and I could be the rant. I could go off on a rant here myself. But you know what? As much money as they put into the NDIS, people have got to understand that money is going to families who are support workers that generally really need that kind of an income. Most of the people that receive the however many $1 billion it is that the government is throwing at the NDIS, it's got a dual benefit. It's a double-edged sword. You're supporting the support worker, and they're receiving an income, and you're lifting people up. Mothers, single mums, young people that don't really have an idea what they're going to do with their life. We got a guy who's studying. He's working with us. He's cutting lawns at the moment for people on the NDIS. So we're helping a university student to have a job, to get ahead. There's so many.
Now, Paul, we've got a quick little message from Tony here, mate. We might put on the screen for Roger to have a look at, mate.
For Roger to have a read. So, Roger, how does the funding, the SALT, get to the disabled, or have I got it all completely wrong?
Well, you haven't got it altogether wrong, Tony. It's a fair question. But with the NDIS, you have to understand it's a bit like if I had a disability, the government would send me to a doctor, a psychiatrist, an occupational therapist, and those people come together and they say, Roger needs 3 hours of support to see a physiotherapist, he needs to see a psychologist, and they work out a budget. And what they do is they then contact the SALT Foundation that might have a coordinator, and we would hook that person up with the supports that they need. And then we would help them to get there, because generally speaking, they can't get there themselves. The support people don't actually get the money directly themselves. It goes to the support people that are looking after them. Does that help to answer the question? Or Mark, do you want to add?
Yeah. It's not like it's money in their bank account of the people with a disability, but it does pay a lot of the expenses that they need, like, as you say, some appointments, some support, those sorts of things. That's what the money goes to. So I think, indirectly, I suppose even directly, it does help people with a disability to be able to function and live the life. I mean, as you know, a lot of the clients that you have and other agencies have, their whole life depends on the support they get, So, without it, they'd be sitting at home, or they might be sitting in a hospital, actually. A lot of them would be in hospital if they weren't on the NDIS.
They would. I have a lady, Tom, and she's 34. And about 4 years ago, her parents let the NDIS lapse, and we are in the process of trying to get her back onto the NDIS. She's 34. Her mum and dad and sister leave home in the morning. They get home at about 6:30 at night, all day long, all day.
Yeah, well.
This poor girl is at home by herself doing nothing. Wow. And we've been picking her up and bringing her to our community house, and she's been participating in a little choir that we run. And I tell you what, she lights up. She's joyful. She starts boogieing. It's so good to see this person just getting out, and the phone calls and text messages I get from her. People need that social connection. and without somebody to take them there, they're not going to get out. And it's so depressing for them. We don't realise how lucky.
It's amazing, Roger, because you have so many clients in your organisation, and you're getting text messages from. You really got a grassroots angle to what you do, mate, which is absolutely fantastic. And you know, so what are your, like, as a CEO of the SALT Foundation? What are your maybe your top 2 or 3 challenges in the chair that you got, the CEO chair? What's your major challenges where you sit?
Yeah, I'm very mindful of the fact that we employ, like 120 odd people. And so the biggest thing that I face, the biggest challenge that I face is just being sustainable, making sure that we can continue to provide employment to our staff, but also in addition to that, provide a really good quality service to people who are living with a disability so that they can continue to get out there and be looked after, loved, enjoy a quality of life that they wouldn't be able to enjoy otherwise. So those are the kind of things that keep me up at night. Just how do we provide a quality service to people and help people enjoy a good social community sort of connection, and how do we keep our staff all employed? And that means having people coming along to the SALT Foundation for their services, and like any CEO, you just got to keep the devil from the door.
Yeah, keep plugging away. Hey, coming up, Money Talk with Rene from Harrods just shortly, but I want to do top 7 at 7. So, Roger, will you hang around and answer a few questions for us, the top 7?
Sure.
Okay. All right, great. Here we go. Great segment each and every week, Mark. We're back 2026 with Roger Donnelley from the SALT Foundation. Top 7 reasons to connect with SALT Foundation. And by the way, just before we start, I did pick up that song. It's Stephen Stills and Nash. Roger?
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. He is the music man.
The Love the One You're With.
Love the One You're With. Yeah, Stephen Stills and Nash.
Good.
All right. Top 7 at 7. Lots coming up. Don't go anywhere because we're here till 8 o'clock. Number 1, I've got down top 7 at 7. Why? The reasons for you to connect with the SALT Foundation. Number 1 is purpose-driven impact, Roger. Purpose-driven impact.
Yeah.
Give us a quick line on that one. So not-for-profit, all profits. You want to take us through the opportunity as running the community programs and so on?
Yeah. Purpose-driven impact. Wow. Okay. We were set up as a not-for-profit, which means that nobody gets to pocket the profits. The money goes back into community. We bought a community house with the profits of SALT, which would otherwise have gone to some directors that are running a for-profit business. And what that means is that the profit is delivering a service, an ongoing service across the road from these commission flats in Heidelberg West that will serve for hopefully for decades to come. Yeah.
That's great. That's awesome.
It's so great to have purpose in your life, and I think that's why a lot of people want to join the not-for-profit industry, Roger, is to get that purpose, to know that what you're doing is making a difference in the lives of other people. So no doubt that's what the SALT Foundation does.
And just also, a shout, go on.
No, go ahead, Roger.
No, I was going to say the other thing that we do is food relief. So we've got a food pantry and deliver food to people every week down in Frankston and in Heidelberg West. And that helps a lot of people as well.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's proven community commitment, right? That was number 3. Proven community commitment is what you're doing there. I had number 2, high quality disability support. High quality.
What work? Sorry, Paul?
High quality disability support.
Yeah.
Providing professional, person-centered services.
Yeah. Do you know, I can think of a woman who lives in Paran, I think, and she doesn't get out. She has voices in her head. She's very profoundly disabled, but I know that the people that look after her, they do things like wash her hair, they massage her feet, they go to the shop and buy her a coffee and come back. And I know for a fact that when she calls up over the weekend several times just in distress, the phone gets picked up. You know, a lot of organizations, they have this professional boundary and they say, do you know what? If they call up after your shift, you don't pick the phone up. It's not professional. And I might get in trouble for this. But we do. We'll pick the phone up, because if people are calling up because they need help, man, that's when you go over and above. I think that's when you're meant to be stepping up. And I encourage them. I think it's a human thing to do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Top seven reasons to connect with SALT Foundation. Number 4, social impact with every service.
Yeah. Well, as I said before, tonight we are looking to rescue 2 girls from sex slavery. Right there is a fantastic use of profit to get out there and to change lives. Maybe not here, but it's the profit that we make that enables that to happen. Food relief, community cooking programs, microfinance, there's many different things, just being around in the community.
Absolutely. Also, values-led organisation. So built on purposes, belonging and trust, prioritising compassion and dignity. So, 5 values-led organisation.
We are, and if I thought about this, the values that we lead by, they are, I can't think of them off the top of my head. You've caught me on the hop. But I know that above all of the values that we have, some of them are charity, but above all of those is love. So one of the values that summarizes all of it is love. And we're an organization that wants to promote love for your neighbor. Get out there and practice that in the community. And I think if you do that, all of the other values hang off of that anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 6, sustainable not-for-profit model. And I think we've gone through that and understanding that. And number 7, partner in building a better world. So the top 7 reasons tonight to connect with the SALT Foundation is to partner in building a better world. Roger?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Like I said, it's not what SALT is doing, but it is spreading the message. It is being this aroma of goodness so that other people pick it up and they say, do you know what? That bloke looks pretty happy helping that other homeless person or the person with a disability or the marginalised unemployed person. Why are they happy? And what happens is that I think there's a knock-on effect and other people realise that it's in giving. It's more blessed to give than to receive. And I think when people see that the goodness and the joy that it brings to be able to share what you have with somebody else, to share your food or a drink or something or clothing, it brings joy. And I know that I see other people sort of imitating that and getting the same benefit. It's really good. It's good. Everybody needs to chip in. And
I'll tell you what, Roger, it's been great having you on 98.9 Northwest FM tonight on the Community Art Paul Mark and the Tech Guys show. Thanks for joining us, mate. The SALT Foundation, we're all going to get down to Luna Park on the 18th at 1:30 on the 18th of March. See Roger. We'll see him in person, plus experience some of those rides that Paul loves getting on. And Roger, it's been such a pleasure having you here tonight. Thanks for giving up your time, mate.
Thanks, Mark. Good to see you guys. Enjoy the rest
Fantastic.
of the show.
Yeah, thanks, mate. You can stick around if you like, or shoot out. But we're just going to go for a quick break.
I'll be watching you online.
Fantastic,
Right.
and
Thanks,
we'll be
mate.
coming up shortly.
Thank
Thanks, Roger. Good on you. We'll be coming back just in a couple of seconds with Money Talk with Rene. So don't go anywhere. Back in 20 seconds.
Back in 20 seconds, Roger. Roger's just gone, has he? And I'm here by myself. I'm a Pat Malone, and I've got 20 seconds to fill. So I don't know how I'm going to do that. We're missing the tech guy. Regards to Julio, we've got Rene here. I can't introduce him yet because he's our next guest. But Joe's so good. The thing that Rene and I and Paul all got in common, of course, is the Mighty Bombers. So we're going to talk a bit about them later. But Rene's another top bloke. So I'll tell you what, tonight we've just got all the top people coming on the show. We're really looking forward to it. And I think my 20 seconds must be nearly up. But yeah, I'll tell you what, it's so good to be back on air tonight and at Northwest FM. A lot of changes here at Northwest FM. Thanks for everyone that's involved. And we want to see the station go great guns, and it's so good to be here again.
Exactly right.
Especially with my old mate Paul.
Yeah, that's it, Mark. And it's back for 2026. So I want to encourage you to jump onto our Facebook page at Paul Mark and the Tech Guy and follow, because we need 100 followers. We're nearly there. We're about 6 followers away from going live streaming out of our program here on this Wednesday evening. So Facebook's put a bit of a nudge there, but 100 followers, Mark. So do you know 6 people, Mark? All I want is 6 people.
I'm just wondering whether Tony's hit the like on our Facebook page, because he loves you. He said g'day to you. He hasn't said g'day to me yet, but I mean, you got you, so that's great. And so, Tony, just wanting to know, mate, whether you've got onto the Facebook with Paul Mark and the Tech Guy and hit that like button, and encourage your wife, your kids, the aunties, the uncles, all to do it, and we should hit that 100.
Yeah, good on you. Thank you so much, Tony, for listening as well. Well, that gives us great opportunity here tonight. I'm looking forward to 2026 for the Paul Mark and the Tech Guy show, because we've jazzed up the program a little bit. Mark, you'd be very excited that the person that's down below, Rene Curry, he's just sitting right underneath you. He's obviously in studio number 3. He's from Harrods Financial Services. He's the founder, CEO. He's at 30 years in the industry. And let me tell you, 25 of those years, he's been running his own business. But I want to set you with this, mate. I know you like a flat white, but this is what Harrods says, sponsored by Harrods. He says, we don't count your beans. We add beans to your account, Mark. We add beans to your account, brother. So without further ado, Rene Curry.
He's been doing it for 30 years. He looks a lot younger than that, mate. He's a young man, and we're so privileged to have him. We're going to learn a lot of things, because I've always wondered why you drive 2 Mercedes-Benz, you live in that 3-story house, and now I know why. You've got a brother called Rene, and it's you're going to give me all the secrets how I'm going to become well off like Paul.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Mark. Hey, fellas, really, it's been a joy to listen in on the show, and I'm really chuffed to be involved this year. But hey, let's kick it off with a bit of money talk. And I want to sort of, frame our discussions from week to week on some hot topics. And, the most common question I find, people are asking me as a financial planner is, hey, Rene, how much super do I actually need to retire comfortably? And, for most Aussies, they tend to think, I need $1 million or I need a couple of $1 million to retire on. But the reality is it's a little more nuanced than that. I mean, retirement planning is not about a specific number. What it's really about, it's about generating enough income to support your lifestyle. And when I think about retirement, it's helpful to think or focus on the income you're going to earn rather than the balance you've got. For example, someone, a couple may have, say, $600,000 in their combined super accounts. And they'll live comfortably if their expenses are modest and they can receive a part.
Yeah, but Rene, what about a bloke like Paul, who lives a high life, out to restaurants, movies, drives the fast cars? I mean, how much would he need? He'd need millions, wouldn't he?
He'd probably need millions, and that's there's nothing wrong with that. And hey, Mark, for those that have got the millions, that's a great story. But for most people, they don't live in that space. So we've got to talk to the common people. Who have
like
got
myself,
600,000.
Like
absolutely.
Yes, that's
so
right.
Absolutely.
A sort of everyday guy like me, what would I need? What would I be aiming for?
Well, okay. So let's just say, Mark, that you you needed $60,000 to live on, and you could live on that comfortably. The question is, where would you get that income from? And what most people, when they're thinking about, I need $1 million, they forget that, hey, there's the age pension. Did you know for a couple, so we'll focus on a couple here, they're entitled to, if they're eligible for the whole lot, they're entitled to $44,000 from the government. And, when I think about that $44,000, if I wanted to earn it myself, I'd need $900,000 in the bank earning 5%. So we've got to consider that the age pension is a good income stream for most people when they retire. But we just don't want it to be just focused just on that income stream. And that's where the 600,000 as a pull-out figure comes in really important. Because if I have 600,000 in my super, or my wife and I, or my partner and I have 600,000, then I'd be entitled. So let's just do some numbers, Mark. I know it can be a bit tough to talk numbers on a TV screen. We'd like to. Maybe next time, or we can do a bit of a slideshow, and show numbers. Yeah. But just think about, if I had $600,000, me and my wife in my super fund, I've got a bit of money in the bank, and I've got a car. So Centrelink thinks I've got $650,000. Well, I'm entitled to $33,000 of age pension when I retire. That's not that bad, right?
Pretty good.
But from that 600,000 I've got in my super fund, if I just draw the minimum 5%, that gives me another 30,000. So I've quite easily achieved a $63,000 income in retirement. Now, naturally, I can draw more from my super fund. I could draw 6, 7%, 8%. So I could draw more to live on more. But I'm mindful that my super balance will be exhausted quite easily if I do that. But, Mark, what's really, really quite interesting, and we talk to a lot of our clients these days about lifetime pensions. And so, when I look at that couple that's got the $600,000 in super, let's just say they went and put $200,000 into a lifetime pension. So that means that this pension is going to pay for as long as I live. Well, in that, and the other thing with a lifetime pension is Centrelink will give me more pension. So if we go back to that example of 600,000, so I put 200 in a lifetime pension, I keep 400 in my super account, I end up with $39,000 from the government, Centrelink pension. Remember, the other couple, they only had 33. I'm getting 39. My lifetime pension gives me $12,000 a year, indexed for the rest of my life. If I live to 120, it'll just keep on paying. And then my super fund that still has $400,000 in it, I take the minimum, and that gives me $20,000. Now I've got a total combined income of $71,000. So the other couple only had 63, but by being smart and just looking at what kind of income streams can I use, I've now got $71,000 worth of income, and that money is going to last me for a long time. So the reality is, fellas, is that rather than think about balances, it's all about thinking about, okay, hey, how can I, what do I need to live on? And what streams of income can I generate from what I've got to essentially achieve that sort of retirement outcome? So, fellas, what's the practical takeaway from our discussion today? Well, hey, look, a good starting point for anyone that's approaching retirement, start thinking about, what am I going to need to live on? What are my housing costs going to look like? Do I need to rent, or have I just got costs associated to keeping my home? Do I want to travel? Will I be traveling a lot? All of these things dictate, what kind of income I'll need for retirement. And Mark, I know that you like to travel, mate. So it looks like you're going to have to get your budget just a little bit above that $60,000, $70,000 amount, okay? Fellas, I just want to leave you with that. One other thought around what do I need to live on? Because often when clients come in to see me, they haven't done a budget and they're not sure how to do the budget. And I say, this is the quick and easy way to work out what you need to live on. Look at your current income. Take away the taxes, because when you get to retirement, it's a golden era. I'm not going to be paying any taxes if you're set up right. So take away the taxes. So let's say I'm on $100,000 income combined, me and my wife. Well, take away $30,000 worth of taxes. That leaves me with 70. I'm not going to pay a mortgage anymore. So let's say my mortgage was say 15 grand. So now I'm down to 55,000. Okay, but I want to travel a little bit, so I'll need to add maybe 5-10 grand back on. So 65,000 is probably the type of income that we might need to fund our lifestyle.
That's good.
But hey, fellas, I'm going to leave the audience with those thoughts, and if any questions come through, I'm going to be here for the remainder of the night. So feel free to pass them through. But can I just leave you?
Great.
Yeah, can I just leave you with one last thought? What we're going to talk about next week is can I retire yet? So I look forward to sharing with everyone next week.
Well, Paul's not allowed to retire for at least another 10, 20 years, but and he needs to fund his lifestyle anyway, so he'll be working for a long time. But it's been great, Rene. It's great to hear all that. That's a bit of food for thought for many people listening. And so I appreciate that, mate.
No, you're welcome. Thanks, Mark, and thanks, guys, for having me on.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks, Rene. Money Talk every Wednesday in the second part of the show, brought to you by Harrods Financial Services. Get behind them, check us out. What's your website address, Mark? Rene?
It's Harrods FS, so Harrods of London. So Harrods and then FS for financial services. So harrodsfs.com.au.
Fantastic, mate. Make sure you jump on there and say hi to Rene. But Mark, I'm worried about how you're going to spend that little amount. That was Rene was about $5,000, I think it was. So you got an extra $5,000, mate. What are you going to spend it on? Is it a ticket to Zimbabwe or?
I like going to the Philippines, mate, as you know. So I'll probably have to pay a few fares for the Philippines. So
mate,
$5,000 pretty quick.
Hey, Mark, you can live in the Philippines on the age pension, mate. You'd be living like a king.
Oh, that's right. Well, I like to think about that. But, Paul's got me working too hard, so I'll have to work for a while. But it's a lot of food for thought there, Rene, and I'm sure you're going to get a big long queue out front of your great little office there.
All good, Mark. Appreciate that. Hey, just look, if I could take just 1 minute of your time, fellas, just around that story, Paul. We talked about it earlier. That we don't count your beans, we add beans to your count. I was introduced to the entrepreneur who started up Dial-A-Dino's. I don't know if you remember Dial-A-Dino's from maybe 30, 40 years ago. And he sold his half share for $20 million back in like the late 90s, or so maybe early 90s. And when I ended up meeting him, he'd lost that small fortune. And he said, Rene, I'm sitting across the desk from him. He says, Rene, hey, look, what's the difference between you as a financial planner and my accountant? Why should I talk to you? And so I gave him that long, technical, logical sort of response. And he responded to me, Rene, so I understand my accountant counts my beans, but you add beans to my count. And I said, mate, you nailed it. That's the difference between us and an accountant. But, hey, guys.
Money Talk every Wednesday, mate. Sensational. Hey, Mark. Hey, Mark's got a rant coming out right now, and straight after that, we're going to just jump over to baseline. I think Nate, one of our new segments also with Talking Footy, because I know, Mark, you're a great Essendon supporter. We obviously will kick off this Saturday, but I think Nate might have a couple of words on that. But look, don't go anywhere, because are you ready for Mark's rant? Thanks, Rene. Are you ready? Let's go.
Well, look, I'll tell you what, boys, I've got to get into it because it's 2 days to go. We have our first game against Hawthorn, the mighty Bombers, and I've just got to do a bit of a rant because I'm sick to death with how they've been going. A lot of these excuses, why they can't win a game, why they can't win a final. It's been over 20 years since we've won a final, and us Essendon supporters are getting sick of it. It's great to see all the young talent coming in. But then when they lost to 43 points against St Kilda the other day, and they said, that was a pretty good game, I thought, what is going on here? Essendon, lose by 43 points. That's terrible. Terrible game. And we need to win. We need to win. So, boys, come on. I'm just going to try and motivate you. Think about your supporters. Think about yourselves. Think about your club. We've got to win this year. And I really want to say, let's start off with a big win. Big win against Hawthorn. They pinched our captain, or nearly pinched our captain. They're no good. Let's show them what we think. And let's come together as a club, come together as supporters, get behind. Let's start off with a win, have a big season, get to the finals. Go the Bombers! Go the Bombers!
There you go, mate. Like, oh, hey, I thought I'd keep the guy from Money Talk on because you're on such a rant about Essendon. He's an Essendon supporter as well. I thought maybe you could get 2 cents from you, mate, as in, the Essendon.
Hey, Mark, spot on, mate. Come on. My son, Mark, he was born in the year 2000 when we last won a grand final 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And he curses me. He says, Dad, how could you make me barrack for the Bombers? We're like the old St Kilda. You remember the St Kilda back in the 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s? They never won anything. We're the new St Kilda.
Yeah. We've had enough. We've had enough. A 43-point loss was a good game, mate. Don't tell me that. Shocking.
Well, guys, let me just say I wanted to do this real quick intro for Nate. Our next segment, just before we take out, we've only got about 4 minutes left. Baseline Media. We've got talking sports talk with Nate. With over 300,000 followers on social media, Baseline Media is doing great things and making impacts within the sporting arena. So I've got a quick video. Fortunately, couldn't make it tonight because of another arrangement, but I've got a quick video we're going to share, and we'll come back with final thoughts. So just let me check it out. Share the screen. Here it is. Let's go.
Thank you to Mark and Paul for calling it over to me, and hello to everyone listening and watching online. My name is Nathaniel Curry, and I'm the founder of Baseline Sports, and I'm going to bring you 5 minutes of sports talk each week moving forward. So to give you a little bit of background on what I do, I am the founder, again, of Baseline Sports. We operate 2 flagship brands, Baseline Footy and Baseline Hoops. Where we separate ourselves from regular media is by covering the up-and-coming emerging prospects. So think your next AFL stars, your next NBA stars coming out of Australia before they hit the big time. So over the past few years, we've covered guys like Harley Reid, Nick Dacos, Sam Darcy, Josh Giddey, Dyson Daniels, all before they reached the pro leagues. So that's where we put ourselves. So this segment will be me talking a little bit about footy, a little bit about the AFL, the NBA, and also sprinkling in a little bit about what I'm doing around the grounds on the weekend with the up-and-coming emerging prospects. So we've got quite a bit of news to get into this week, especially on the AFL side of things. Let's start off with the Gold Coast Suns, who honestly, I'm making an early call here, but they're looking like flag contenders already. You guys can come back and burn me at the end of the season, but getting Petrarca up there on the Gold Coast looks like an absolutely winning move. 34 touches and 3 goals on the weekend. A stark contrast from his last few games at Melbourne. You could tell he was disinterested. He didn't want to be there, but it looks like he's got his happiness back up on the Gold Coast. I mean, why wouldn't you? Sun, beach, literally anything that could make you happier, he's got up there. And it's crazy to think the midfield that the Gold Coast Suns have built. They've got Track in the middle now, Matt Rowell, reigning Brownlow medalist, Noah Anderson, Tuke Miller, who up until 2 years ago you could have said was probably their best midfielder. And not to mention stars pretty much everywhere else on the field. Again, on my Baseline Footy side of things, great to see Zeke Hewland get a debut, the brother of Bodie Hewland, who is also on that Gold Coast Suns team. He's a star. They got him with the 2nd pick. He was a Gold Coast Academy boy. They've invested in him for the long time. I got to spend some time with him over the summer, and he's just a great kid. So excited to see what he has in store. And not to mention, they also had the rising star winner in Leo Lombard, a boy from last year who actually, a lot of people don't know this, his dad was a UFC fighter, but he put together an awesome game, and they look like the team to beat. They put away the Cats. They put away the Cats by 56 points. The Cats didn't look like they wanted to be there, but at the end of the day, I don't think anyone's too worried about the Cats. They'll still find a way to finish out in the top 6. Taking a quick foray over to the NBA. Not sure if you guys saw today, but Bam Adebayo, not a name that everyone knows. He plays for the Miami Heat, broke Kobe Bryant's 81-point record today. He scored 83 points against the Washington Wizards. And there's been a bit of controversy around it, people trying to discredit it because he shot 36 free throws and the Heat were deliberately failing to try and get extra possessions at the end of the game. But on my side, 83 points is 83 points, and mate, you can't take anything away from him. Anyway, back to footy. Some more controversies kind of came out over the last few days at the Hawks. Jack Ginnivan given a slap on the wrist for wearing a ring and some jewelry underneath his new hand gloves. I mean, I'm not sure why exactly he wanted to do that, but I guess when you go to the youth to lead your club forward, you're going to get some weird things like that. Just came out that Connor McDonald and ex-vice captain Dylan Moore spent a night in US custody over a trespassing incident this past off-season. So that's an interesting story to wake up to. But Dylan Moore was stripped of his vice captaincy and nothing yet on Connor McDonald. They'll take on the Bombers this week after a 27-9. Good news coming out of them. They're debuting 3 boys: Hustle Achka, boy from the northern suburbs, Dyson Sharp, who I honestly could be top 5 last week, and Max Kondo, who fell to the 40s in last year's draft and has been impressing everyone. Has been impressing everyone over at Bomberland. The Blues, that's a whole nother thing. After their 63-point loss to the Swans, they've been all over the news, and not just because they conceded 12 goals in a quarter. Popular social media figure Dan Gorringe leaked a private voicemail from Sam Doherty, the Carlton legend, where he was given his honest review on what he thought of the Blues' performance on the weekend. And let's just say the media has lapped it up. My honest opinion, aside from a few expletives from Sam, he didn't have anything to say that myself and every other Carlton supporter in the country were already thinking. He's been banned by the club from functions for at least the next 6 weeks. And Dan Gorringe, the host of the popular Dan Does Footy podcast, is in a lot of hot water. But in interest of wrapping this up, I mean, I could go for the rest of the day. The Blues will match up with Carlton. The Blues will catch up with the Tigers on Thursday night. And to round out the round, we'll have the Dogs take on GWS, Geelong take on Fremantle, Sydney take on the Lions, Pies v Adelaide, North take on Port, and Melbourne take on St Kilda. Now back to you guys. See you next week.
Well, that's great. That's
Yeah,
great. It's got a bit of a Koori feel to it tonight, isn't it? It's great.
Yeah, that was fantastic, mate. Really big sports wrap, sports talk, 5-minute classic. I'm looking forward to Nate jumping on each week. But, mate, we're going to challenge you because, I mean, he's bringing the news, mate, but I've got to hear some rants from you, Mark. I mean, it's not enough. You got to keep spilling it out there, buddy, you know, about that.
Well, I'm going to the big game on Friday night to see the Bombers and the Hawks. So you'll see how I am next week, see how the game goes. But I'm going for the Bombers. We got to win this. We got to make a stand. We got to start the season.
Big night, mate. Big night.
Right.
Yeah, you think we've got a hope of winning this one, mate, against Hawthorn? Because they did pretty well last year, but last week they were pretty woeful.
That's what I like about this. We got no hope, but we're going to win.
Yeah.
We're going to do it, mate. We're going to do it.
I like it,
fantastic.
mate. I like it.
Well, thanks, guys. It's 98.9 Northwest FM. It's time to say goodnight. We're a little bit over the part, but Mark, if there's one word that you could, or one sentence that you could give us or give our listeners tonight, what is it, mate? Because you've only got one minute.
I think I love what Roger was started off the show with, and I think he's giving hope and life to a lot of people. And I think the Salt March, let's march to Luna Park on the 18th of March and join Roger and the gang at Luna Park.
Yep. Let's just bring that up really quickly if you want to sort of read that. So the Salt March, 18th of March. We're looking forward to our show next Wednesday evening from 7. Great, wonderful guest speaker will be coming up. We've also got Money Talk, which is awesome at Baseline, and certainly Mark's rant, which I'm looking forward to. And we missed tonight's The Tech Guy, but we'll get him back next week here on Paul Mark and The Tech Guy. Thanks, guys. Have a great night. We'll see you next time, and stay well. God bless. Don't go anywhere because there's lots more coming away as we take you overnight. For the music on the hour, and I do want to say a big thank you to